Welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we dive deep and answer the ultimate question, how did you hack into tech sales? Each week, we bring you inspiring stories, proven strategies, and insider tips from top performers who've cracked the code to break into tech sales and thrive. Whether you're just starting out, making a career pivot, or ready to level up, this is your go-to space for actionable advice and real-world success stories. Let's crack the code together, because hacking into tech sales isn't just a dream, it's your next move. Now with your host, the founder of Tech Sales Funnels and the tech sales hacker himself, Davison Da Silva.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast. Today I'm bringing a very special guest, Austin Henline. He is a mastermind of LinkedIn. In fact, he has made, probably dozens of posts about LinkedIn, how to use LinkedIn. He has participated in multiple podcasts, and he's very active in helping people how to use LinkedIn. And today, actually, he's going to be talking about a little bit more about how he transitioned to tech sales and what he does now. And I'm super excited to have him here. He is a friend, and let me bring him to the stage. Hello, Austin.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Davison. So excited to meet you.
Welcome. So I like to call myself the tech sales hacker these days.
Love that.
Just because I'm teaching like some tips and tricks and hacks and helping people in how to hack into tech sales. So I'm super happy to have you here. You are the mastermind hacker on LinkedIn.
I don't know if I go that far, but yeah, I love LinkedIn. It's an amazing platform, and so like excited to be able to share a little bit more about my experience today and answer any questions. Hopefully, help some people to be able to hack their way into sales.
Awesome. And so let's go ahead and get started. Just tell a little bit about yourself, just a high level. Who's Austin? And I gave some quick introduction. And then we're going to dive right into the main question of this podcast, which is basically how did you hack into tech sales and what are you doing tech sales these days? So just go ahead and I'll be, we're going asking some questions along the way. So.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just say a little bit about myself right now. So I'm currently an associate digital growth manager at Okta. So I do a lot of kind of like sales enablement, helping the sales team, CSMs, AEs, renewal managers, making their life easier. Everyone has like monthly calls with their clients, and sometimes people take 30 minutes to an hour creating these customer presentations. So I help to automate that so that they can create personalized, like dynamic content for each customer in under 2 minutes, like with platforms and kind of like these materials.
Nice.
But yeah, outside of work, I have 2 baby girls under the age of 2. So that has been it's been kicking my butt for a while. But it's the most rewarding thing, gives me a motivation to work hard. And it really does incentivize me to make sure that I do a good job at work and outside of work. I love hobbies. I play golf, tennis. I enjoy video games. I'm a Magic the Gathering nerd. Just like all sorts of hobbies. I love playing hobbies. And I'm been married for about 5 years. And so that's kind of like outside of work and what I'm doing right now. But in terms of past, how I got to here, like you said, I'd love to, if you have any specific questions or, happy to share any information that I can to how I got to this point. Totally.
We're going to make the best of this time. I was going to, when you talk about 2 girls under 2, Forbes should have an award of 2 under 2.
2 under 2.
2 under 2 for all the parents that, are working full time and trying to, man, it's hard. I can't imagine. I have 4, but they're not like that close. So it's.
Oh, 4 is a whole different ball game. You need, Forbes 4 for 4.
I love it. All right, so thank you for the introduction. It was great. Now we have about 20-25 minutes here for this podcast. Let's jump into the question. how did you hack into tech sales? Like, tell us about the process of getting hired. What did you do? And it can be as descriptive as possible. Anything that you used, and I don't know if you use LinkedIn or not, to get a job. Just let us know, how did you hack into tech sales?
Yeah, absolutely. I will say it was a very planned process. Like I knew it was something that I wanted to do like a year a year in advance, because so my freshman to sophomore year, I was applying to all these jobs. Like I had good grades, I had a 4.0, I was like in clubs and all of these
Nice.
things. I was working at a job, and so I thought I was a good candidate, and I applied to all of these roles, and every single one of them was asking for a LinkedIn profile. And I was like, man, what is this thing? Like I've never heard of LinkedIn before. Like my dad has one. Is that for like grandparents and stuff, like a social media for grandparents? Um,
People.
yeah, exactly. Is it like old people? And but it kept coming up, and so I was like, okay, I guess I should create a LinkedIn profile. But I got rejected by every single company that I applied for that asked for a LinkedIn profile. But I was like, what happened to the good old days of just wanting my resume and going off of that, you know? And so that experience kind of opened my eyes, like, okay, I should probably take this LinkedIn thing more seriously.
When was
And
that? Like, what year was that? Like,
that was about 2017,
okay,
2018. Uh-huh.
okay, 6 years
And
ago.
yeah, so it was like 6 years ago. And I remember I was talking to a colleague who was a senior in college, and they were like, yeah, I would just recommend posting every once in a while on LinkedIn,
Okay.
to kind of like show employers that you're active. I had no idea what that meant, but I was like, okay, like I'll do it. So that was ingrained in my mind. And so I started posting content on LinkedIn, but in my pursuit to get better, I was reading a lot of articles, like watching a lot of videos, trying to learn as much as I could about LinkedIn. And as I improved my profile, I started to get inbound recruiter messages, like offering, jobs, interviews, things like that. And so I
Wow.
started to post content gearing what I was learning towards people who were just starting out. So I was essentially
Mm,
posting for myself 6 months ago when I knew nothing.
okay. Okay.
And that started to take off. That started to grow. I got a couple thousand followers here and there, but more than anything, I just saw the visibility that the content provided. Like people at huge tech companies were seeing my posts every time. LinkedIn, Microsoft, Facebook. I was like, wow, it's it's a good like a good visibility generator. And then that's when I made the goal as like, I love LinkedIn. Like it's such a good platform. I would love to work at LinkedIn, like get an
Wow.
internship at LinkedIn in their sales program. And so that was like a year before the internships opened up. And so I used LinkedIn. I found 8 or 9 alumni from my school that worked at LinkedIn, networked with them, hopped on calls with them. And they, more than anything, well, they provided the referral, which was super helpful. But what was, I think, most beneficial was having a an internal advocate and someone who could help coach me through the interviews. And so when I had my first interview scheduled, I hopped on a few calls with these alumni who knew me, and I was just asking for their tips. Hey, how should I phrase my experiences? How should I prep for this sales interview? And then one turned to two, and then two turned to a final interview. And each time, these people that I never knew before, but they connected with me on LinkedIn, we had that common tie of the same university. They were now kind of invested in my success. Each time they coached me, helped me prepare for the interviews. I had never done like a tech sales interview before, so they helped me prepare a few
Mhm.
pitches and just like really focus on my why and the value that I bring to the company. And so I ended up getting that job, at
Wow.
LinkedIn as a sales intern. And
First job in tech sales, LinkedIn. Wow, amazing.
yeah, it was a huge like, um it honestly was a big preparation. Like I spent countless hours, starting in January. The applications opened up in October, and I knew in January I was like, okay, I have 10 months to prepare. And so I was just listening to podcasts, just like I wish I had Tech Sales Funnels podcast to listen and prep with. But
Yes.
yeah, sometimes, you see the end result and it's like, oh, whoa, like super cool. But if there is a dream job or a dream company, like you can really work and network and get tips and advice and make it happen. You don't have to go that route. It was just the route that I pursued. And I'm really glad that I did because I still have those connections today.
Wow. So I need to dive a little bit deeper here. You guys, the last 5 minutes, if you haven't heard from the beginning, 5 or 10 minutes, this was basically a master class on how to get a job, how to get an internship in a Fortune 500 companies. If you make a course out of that. Also, uh, he touched so many points here that I need to get back a little bit and ask a little bit more. So first of all, he used LinkedIn and had no idea how to use. And then he did something that I thought was really special. He not only used LinkedIn to to learn his job, but he started teaching other people. So I mean that's a right there, right? Like you can see how, the good of a heart he has is in serving and trying to help others, and that automatically gets back to him. So he was like connecting with all those alumni, all those people that wanted to help him. So, but he was also mentoring and helping other people along the way. Well, how did you learn? Did you feel like that experience was also like super like added a lot of value on your job search as you were like teaching other people? And because I think that's how I saw you on LinkedIn for the first time. You started posting things and doing people's reviews, and I was like, "Who's this guy? He's super active on LinkedIn." And it was, yeah. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said this many times and I'll continue to say it. Like the reason why I continued to post over 5 years is because posting on LinkedIn felt like my biggest job security. Like the visibility that I was gaining from posting really kept me top of mind. And like people just thought of, like when they see your posts, even if they don't engage, they're like, okay, they know kind of what you're up to, what your skills and expertise is, and they consider you for things that might otherwise be forgotten. But also, I think with posting on content, it helped me to become a better writer.
Mm,
I focused a lot on writing, which in turn helped me to fine tune my resume, my cover letter, and focus on things. I was like, okay, when this type of post or this type of like value is leads to the most engagement. Like the first 3 lines of my LinkedIn post is what determines the rest of it. Like I focused on getting to the point, driving the value that I bring for the reader. And then that translated very well to cover letters, capture their attention right off the bat, or resume, focus on the value and like quantities and things like that. And so it helped me become a better writer, but also better at just communicating with others since I'd hop on calls and I would help mentor, coach people. It taught me a lot. And so being able to teach something, a complex topic, in a simple way that people can understand is really important in sales. Like being able to describe your product to someone who has no understanding about it, but in a way that they understand the value that it brings, it really helped me to understand that importance in sales.
yeah, I'm not surprised that a lot of people, recruiters, right? People start reaching out because if you can do something on LinkedIn, if you can sell on LinkedIn, right? If you can communicate, if you can express yourself, write and speak, and do all those things, like automatically, by default, people associate you as a good seller, right? But then at the same time, it's all about know, like, and trust. So people say like, oh, I like Austin. Oh, I trust him because he sounds like an authority. So it does like I tell people all the time, like, hey, the biggest shortcut to land a tech sales job, start building content. Like start something.
Absolutely.
Like you did your like teaching people how to use LinkedIn, right? It could be basically anything, right? It could be like a class that you're taking. It can be even about your job, the things you learn in your job. I mean, anything.
Absolutely.
Do you
Yeah.
have any recommendations? People like there's a lot of people who hesitate. Um, I know I post on LinkedIn. I know I do all the time. And I can show you all the opportunities in interviews that I'm having now that I'm transitioning between jobs, right? Just because of the my presence on LinkedIn. And any recommendations for someone who's like hesitating or they don't even know how to start or like because that strategy is a
Yeah,
hack to get into tech sales.
absolutely. I think there's two recommendations, two tips that I'd give. One is if you don't know where to start, just start documenting, telling about stories or like it's kind of treat it like an online journal, just like something
Mm,
that happened to you or something that you learned. So instead of like creating, it can be more of a documenting approach. And then if thought leadership or writing or like helping is your goal, I think the biggest mentality shift that I had to have was an analogy someone shared: how fast you have to run to survive a bear attack. It's like faster than your friend, because like a bear's maximum speed is like 40 miles per hour. A human isn't capable of running that fast, so you're not going to outrun a bear, but you just have to run faster than the next person who like will get caught by the bear. Kind of a weird analogy, but what that translates to is to post content, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be Usain Bolt, the fastest person on earth. You just have to know a little bit more on a topic about the next person. And so if you do want to post content, gear it towards beginners. Like
mm,
if you're like at a medium level of Excel, like Microsoft Excel, you know this and that, you've taken a few courses, I guarantee you know more than your grandma or someone who like has no idea about Excel. And so kind of like think about it like that. I know more about this topic than X person or Y person. And that is kind of like your target audience. How
mm.
would you break down these um, these functions to someone who has no idea? And so that's what I did with LinkedIn. I wasn't a LinkedIn expert when I started posting about LinkedIn, but I knew more than I did 6 months ago. And so I was posting to myself 6 months ago when I was a beginner, like helpful tips that I would have liked when I was starting. And
No.
I learned that there were a lot of people. There's so many more people who are beginners in any given topic than someone who is at like a medium expertise.
Very
And so
interesting.
start
Very
posting towards someone who is wanting to learn, and that kind of is your target audience. And then interestingly enough, as you start posting more, your expertise grows. So even if you started at like a 2 out of 10, by the time you continue posting, you work your way up 3, 4, 5, and people perceive you as a 10.
I love
A
that.
2 out of 10. Yeah.
And there is I think the people say like only 3% or 2% of people that use LinkedIn build content. I don't know if that number has increased, but maybe now because there's people
Yeah, the last I was
registering.
1%, and then but it might be, even if it is growing, the number of people, like 2 people join LinkedIn every second, and not every one of those people who are joining are posting content. So it's like probably similar percentages
Yeah,
I'd get.
I agree. I really like the idea of the bear, the analogy of the bear. There's also the analogy of you only have to be one book, one chapter ahead in the book to
Mhm.
know more about someone else, right? And also, I was trying to build something for you 5 years ago, and it automatically become an expert. I say that because my wife is trying to also build a community and trying to help. She does
Mhm.
homeschool and she helps moms that never homeschooled before or trying to understand what to do. And
Mhm.
she's like expert. She has done like since pre-COVID, COVID, and I was like, go ahead and start,
Ye
helping other moms, right?
That's amazing.
Just building that confidence. So I love that. Thanks for giving that insight. So if you're listening right now, if you want to hack to tech sales, that's basically how Austin did. Like he started using LinkedIn, um, created his profile, became a learner of the platform. I probably only use maybe 40% of LinkedIn capabilities. I don't know, but it works for me. I can learn way more. You start using it. Um, So when you applied to LinkedIn, you said you got a referral from one of your mentors, right? From LinkedIn. Is that
Mhm.
right? Did you get like a
Yeah.
link? Did they send you? Did they put you on a system and then you got like a link to apply? How that worked?
Yeah, a lot of big tech, like Fortune 500 companies, they um people are often like, "Oh, don't apply. I have like I can create a personalized like special link in the URL." And when you apply, the company knows that it's from a referral because it has like the special code inside of it. And so if it's like a smaller company, maybe they're not able to do that. But if it's small enough that they don't have that differentiated system, they're probably small enough that they know the hiring manager directly and can like put in the good word.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, that for LinkedIn, they created like a special link that I clicked on. It looked the exact same. It was just the URL was different. And so when I submitted it, LinkedIn knew that this was a referral.
got it. And then probably you refer a friend, maybe. Sometimes everyone listening now, those Fortune 500 companies, they give you a kick, like money to the
Yeah.
people who refers because they want to bring people that you know they.
Yeah. I think at the time LinkedIn did have that monetization like incentive. I think they got rid of it for entry level, but I know at Okta they still have that in play, like where I currently work, like you get paid for referrals. And so you never know. Like you can also be helping out the person if you
Yeah.
get hired.
No, yeah, I helped a couple of people at Microsoft when I was there, and they got some money, and I actually helped them. Hey, tune up your resume like that. Help them apply. They got the job. I got the money. Of course, I was doing to help them, but hey, an extra $1,000 for diapers, it came in
Yeah.
handy.
No, that goes a long ways.
It did came in handy. So you apply with the link. How was the interview process though? Because you mentioned that you did not came from tech sales. It was the interview too techy. Like a lot of people hesitate to get into tech sales because they think like they have to be some sort of architect or an engineer or know everything about the cloud. I don't like.
No, I
Tell me a
didn't know.
story here.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about tech. The first part, like the first interview was really just focused on why LinkedIn. Like, there's thousands of tech companies. Why out of all of them do you want to work at LinkedIn? And so it was really focused on LinkedIn's mission, LinkedIn's vision, and having like a personal story and a personal incentive of why there's a million companies in the world. Why do I only want to work at this company?
Mm,
Because they're passionate about what they do and they equally want to hire people who are passionate about their mission, their vision of creating economic opportunity for the entire workforce, like the world. And so for that first interview, it was really just kind of like understanding why LinkedIn, what do I know about the company? And then after that interview, the second round was more kind of like about my aptitude, my abilities, and kind of like skills. And then I remember the third one, I had to pitch an app, like pitch someone to download an app and pay for it. And then, so it's kind of like a few minutes of seeing
real
how I
quick.
can sell and like a role play.
Nice, nice. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the first one was like almost a slam dunk for you because you're like so excited about LinkedIn and like why LinkedIn and like I'm the guy.
Yeah,
Interview.
I was so excited for those questions because I was like, okay, here we go. Uh, I love LinkedIn so much. I would work here as a janitor if I had to.
I love it. I love it. So be passionate about the companies that you're working for. At least do some research
Yeah.
and know how to answer why me and why the organization. Right? Those are two big questions. Um, Now I know heading towards the end here, you have a great start in tech sales, LinkedIn. I mean, it's a dream of a lot of people to work for LinkedIn. Now part of Microsoft. I knew a lot of people from LinkedIn because of Microsoft. They talked to a lot of people. So great. I think it was a great merger, and they complement each other in a really good way.
Yeah.
Um, and then after LinkedIn, you have done other things. Did the and then now you're Okta, which is I mean, if you're looking for tech sales jobs these days, data, AI, and security, those are the three hot big buckets that you should concentrate on. Um, was the process different to get jobs into those other organizations? Did you follow kind of the same pattern, kind of networking with the people inside? Can you tell us a little bit about Okta? How did you get into Okta?
Yeah, it was not the same process as LinkedIn. Actually, it was an application on LinkedIn that I found. I found the link. Yeah, and I was like, well, give it a shot. I thought it was way out of my league, like my reach, and things like that. I maybe met 60 or 70% of the qualifications. So it was kind of like a long shot. It was paying more than I was thinking that I would be qualified for. And so I was like, well, let's give it a shot. I focused on the cover letter and the resume. And then interestingly enough, like I got the interview, and then in the interview, I was able to talk to my skills. I also mentioned a lot about, because in my job, I create a lot, I write a lot, I create a lot of programs, and they email marketing, things like that. And so I really talked a lot about, I try and write every day, and I post a lot on LinkedIn. And so my posting and writing on LinkedIn was like one of my big selling points, that they knew, like, okay, he writes and he's able to write well in emails and the type of marketing materials that we create.
Nice. You go back and forth. We can, leave LinkedIn, right? As a
it's really been like the competitive advantage that I never knew it would be in the job search.
Yeah. So funny fact, that kind of dated me, my age and all that. I think LinkedIn was created in 2006, maybe no more than
2006 or 7. I can't remember.
Yeah. So I graduated in 2007. So LinkedIn from college. So that's my age, right? LinkedIn, it was like so new, and I created my profile. At that time, it was not even used for, like, I don't think there was not even the job like tab that you can search for jobs. Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe I didn't use it, but there was more like a profile. And I mean, people these days create a LinkedIn profile, optimize, create content. Don't have to be a mastermind creator. None of that. It's just like be active. And you become a magnet of opportunities, even outside of work. Like I'm mentioning that because since LinkedIn, I created my profile. All my jobs that I had since college, they came from LinkedIn. Some I applied directly, like you did for Okta. Others I prepare myself, like Microsoft. All my projects, my nonprofit that I have, my partner, Marcelo, the Calango, with Calango, all the people that I know these days, you we went through LinkedIn, right? I saw you. It's amazing. So there's a lot of opportunities, even outside of just finding a job, right?
Yeah.
Now, I just want to kind of wrap it up and close. Right now, so a lot of people think that tech sales is just like, oh my gosh, I have to be cold calling 100 people a day, and then sending a bunch of emails. Yes, there's roles like, that does that. Don't get me wrong. A lot of my job at Microsoft was a lot of project management, because I was dealing with 2 or 3 years opportunities, multi-million dollars, a lot of stakeholders, and literally an army to get the sale done. But also there's all the supportive roles, like your role right now. Can you tell a little bit more about, like, just a little bit more what you do, so you can expand people's vision about, hey, tech sales, there's so many opportunities outside of just making the actual sale, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you said, so there's so many supporting roles and characters in order to get a sale. It's not just a person. I've never had to do a cold call in my career. I've never had to do anything like that, dialing. What I'm currently doing is I'm supporting the sales team by, it's called sales enablement. So if you're interested in getting into sales, but you don't want to be the one actually dialing on the phone, look up sales enablement roles. And what that pretty much is helping the sales team to be more efficient, whether that's through like content creation or like creating one pagers that they can refer to and use in customer conversations. Like the sales team, they're focused on closing the deal, but a lot of the times they're like, hey, it would be really nice if we had a one pager that talks about our products and like what value customers have seen, like either case studies or like how did this company save millions of dollars by by using Okta instead of other competitors. And so it's a lot of content creation, and then a lot of like platforms. So I'm using a tool called Matic that is automation, automates programs, and just learning from data. Like how can we improve our data with what we have to make customers and employees more efficient. And then the last aspect as well is outside of sales enablement, there's also like customer onboarding. So the life cycle of a sale isn't just like conversations leading up to it and then you have the sale and then boom, we never talk to you again. Onboarding and like post sales is also part of the sales cycle. And so I also help to build out like post sales onboarding programs so that they come here, they're like, I have no idea how to use Okta. Okay, boom, here's an email with step by steps of like how to get started. Like how can you maximize your product? Because after the sale, if they're like, well, that was useless, like we were never taught how to use it, we're just going to go back to our old system. You just lost the sale. And so yeah, creating kind of like customer onboarding materials is also part of my job.
Love that. So think about everyone. Pre-sales is the the idea of sales, the sales process, closing the deal, the team that takes it, the retention, the implementation, the make sure that the customer is actually leveraging the technology. It's also part of sales. So, I honestly I feel like it's like that. This is such a new industry, and it was created like with the cloud, the whole SaaS revolution 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and now the whole AI, and there is just the tip of the iceberg, and there is a lot of opportunities for a lot of people who has interest, right?
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Austin, for giving your perspective. Your story is it's out of the curve. I'll just say because it's very very unique. You like super strategic. Getting to LinkedIn. Kudos for you because you probably did a lot of work also in college. I saw you did you're very active in college, in HR groups and different things that you did as student body government, high school and all that. So all that stuff, it prepared you to, to be the person you were. And now you're providing for your family, you work from home, and you're in tech sales, you're supporting tech sales teams. So that's great. Your story is amazing. Hopefully it will inspire hopefully not. It will inspire people who are listening to this today. How do they find you? I'm pretty sure they'll find you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn. I created like tutorials on YouTube for a while. I stopped for a while, but I still have those up. If you ever want to kind of like have specific video tutorials, like if you're a video learner, I have a YouTube channel. But yeah, if you did make it this far and you actually listened to this episode, please send me a personalized request on LinkedIn letting me know like, hey, I listened to the episode, like Tech Sales Funnels podcast, and let us know that you made it this far, because that says a lot about you as a person, like, and your willingness to learn and your drive. And so I definitely love to connect. And so if you're able to drop that little tidbit, like if you made it to minute 33 that we're in right now, then I definitely love to connect, because yeah, you have a drive that sets you apart from a lot of people who might not make it this far or willing to learn and grow.
I love it. Thank you. Thanks so much, Austin. Let me know if we can do anything to help, and we appreciate having you in the podcast today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was amazing.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we crack the code and uncover the strategies to break into tech sales. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to hack their way into this exciting career. Remember, hacking into tech sales isn't just a goal, it's a mission. Let's keep hacking, learning, and winning together. Catch you next time.